Hey everyone, my name is Bryce Koon here with the Crowded Booth, specifically Swarm Talk, where we talk not just Georgia Tech football, but we talk Georgia Tech recruiting as well. Today, we've got a special interview with one of the newest commits. Three-star tight end Connor Roush joins the show as he talks about his decision, his conversation with Brent Key, and kind of how the whole thing came together on his official visit this past weekend. Without further ado, Connor Roush. We welcome you back inside the booth. My name is Bryce Koon, and today we are joined by legitimately one of the most recent Georgia Tech commits. Like, Connor, I don't know if we can say any more recent. I know there's a couple other guys that might be putting their name out there, but this is Connor Roush, the three-star tight end commit from the Atlanta area. Connor, thanks for joining us, man. Let's start off here. How does it feel? I know you got the polo on right now. How does it feel to have this commitment done? And, hey, it's out there. You're going to be a Yellow Jacket.
It's relieving. Like I said, Georgia Tech's always been the goal, so I feel like getting it locked in and getting a spot on the team especially helps me out. So a lot of stress relief.
Yeah, a lot of stress relief. Recruiting is fun. Like I talked to a lot of different guys. They're like, I enjoy it, and then at a certain point, it's kind of like it's not too much fun for me anymore. I want to have this decision done. Did you find that? Is that something that you kind of related to a little bit? Like you're glad to have this done?
I am. I mean, when I got the offer, I felt like some stress was off the chest. I was like, I know where I want to go, but also like you got to think, you got to be one of the guys to commit. So I mean, it's kind of a race to commit. I feel like, but I feel like in the end, it helped me out.
Well, man, you had a pretty cool journey. I mean, look, we see a lot of kids, they get offered early on. They kind of wait this thing out. You're at a camp, over 300, 400 kids there, all competing, wanting to get noticed. You're obviously working there. Buster Faulkner's there. Nathan Brock's there. And you piqued their interest. Kind of talk with me about what that camp atmosphere was like, what they told you. And I know you and I were kind of talking with each other. It turned into, hey, let's get you on campus pretty quick for an official visit.
Yes, sir. Well, at the camp, obviously, I'd said like they coached me up a good amount when I was there. I clearly got invited a couple weeks before. They wanted me to come out there so I could show them what else I can do. And when I got there, I mean, I ran the 40, 5.10.5, broad jump, and they like my athleticism. Just want to see how I can play at tight end. And I think they know they can coach me up. I mean, clearly I'm not a perfect player, so they know that they can help me out in a good amount. They like size, speed. So definitely. Sir.
Now, obviously, you get the offer. You turn around. You're getting ready for the official visit. Kind of talk to me. What was that conversation like with your family? You mentioned a little bit. You knew this was a goal for you, that you wanted to kind of be a guy that could go to Georgia Tech. What was that conversation like with the family heading into that official visit weekend?
I told them I was going to commit on the official, so they already knew what the plan was. But they were super excited. I mean, they know that's where I want to be, and I'm close to home, so it makes everything a lot easier decision. So. Sir.
Yeah, I mean, look, you get to play right down the road. I mean, I imagine that had to play a little bit into it. And there's a lot of guys on that roster that you obviously have relationships with and you've maybe played against or just, grown up in kind of the same area. Kind of talk about that official visit weekend. I know you spent some time, you know a guy like Aaron Philo, who we all had on the show last year when he committed. Like, what are some of the relationships like and what were some things you learned on that OV that said, hey, I knew I was going to commit, but now I know I really want to?
Aaron was my host on the OV, so my freshman year we played Prince, and I wasn't playing yet, obviously, but I watched him play, and I was like, this guy's a good player. So he brought me around, and he's really nice. I'm probably one of the nicest kids I've ever met, and definitely just a good influence. And I kind of liked, honestly, because I didn't think that the grades, like I thought freshmen wouldn't be hanging out with seniors, but I was hanging out with them, and I was hanging out with Haynes, King, and everyone. So it was awesome. I mean, they treat you like you're already part of the team, and that definitely, I was appreciative of that.
Kind of talk about that OV a little bit more. What were you guys able to do? What'd you get to see? I imagine some cool photo shoots, throwing on the jerseys. Kind of what was that experience like?
I mean, it was packed with stuff to do. I mean, I'm exhausted, but they had us strength. We introduced all the academics. I mean, I honestly, I haven't seen a lot of the academic side of the campus. I've always seen football things, so I want to see everything. And I saw the business school, and I really appreciated that because I want to study business. So I didn't know it was such a great business school, and they explained us how they help us with our academics, strength, nutrition. They're actually helping us out with nutrition right now. They said I can start talking to them about getting bigger, about getting healthier. So it's a good plan.
Yeah, obviously, you kind of got to sit down with Brent Key, of course, kind of describe, because look, fans know him as a no-nonsense, let's go win football games kind of guy. But when you stepped inside his office and you have those conversations, what is Brent Key like to you?
he's really down to earth, like very down to earth. I mean, he's just a normal guy, but clearly a great coach. I mean, you can tell. I mean, he explained his compassion. He knows his goals. I mean, he told us one of his main goals is never ever hit a woman. And I mean, my parents really appreciated that, and they were like, I mean, he's all about respect, all about team playership, and he likes his locker room being fun. And I know that they like guys who are fully committed to the team. So they also told me, like, if someone hops in the transfer portal, they don't want him back. Like, they're like, we want everyone 100% committed to winning football games, and it makes sense to me. So
Yeah. Makes sense. Of course. Of course. Kind of walk through your player profile. Now, look, a lot of people have looked at your tape and, you can see you've played both sides over there at Wesley, and you're going to be playing tight end. What is it about the tight end position that you like? And really kind of what was the view of, Coach Brock and Coach Faulkner, who've done a good job with tight ends, not just at Georgia Tech, but other places, that their vision for the position has you excited?
I mean, I majority played defensive end this year. So, I mean, I got a lot of tight end reps, but we had a tight end committed to Syracuse, so he had majority of the reps in him. So it was Jamie Tremble. But I mean, I definitely they also told me on my film, even on the defensive film, they can just see it. They can tell me I can be an aggressive blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran a 4.7 at the camp, so they're like, we can split them out, we can block. And I know that, I mean, they have tight ends on the field at all times. I mean, they show me plays where they had 3 guys on the field blocking for a receiver when they threw it out. I mean, it just looks like a fun offense. I mean, they only had 8 plays all year where they didn't have a tight end in the game. So looks great. So definitely get a good opportunity.
I imagine that's pretty cool. Like, as a guy, like, tight end 10, 15 years ago, you're like, oh, okay. But now, obviously, what Buster Faulkner wants to do offensively, this can be a lot of fun. To kind of go back to this class, I mean, look, as we're recording, there's more guys that are kind of making their decisions. This class is already starting to take shape. What's the brotherhood like with some of the guys that you were on the OV with? And then just in general, because, we're going to be talking with Grady Adamson here later this week. I know he's a guy that you were around and stuff like that. Just what is the group like so far with this 2025 class, and what role do you play in continuing to recruit?
Me and Grady I committed actually at dinner on Friday night at a seafood restaurant with everyone there. So they wanted me to get everyone fired up, and I wanted to commit then. So I decided, and it definitely did get some people fired up as we got a few more commitments in there. I just didn't release mine until a little after. But so, I mean, me and Grady became pretty close over the trip. I was hanging out with Kevin, PA, and a few of the other guys were hanging out in the suite. But it was awesome. It was really awesome. Yeah. I mean, you can tell that they want to win football games and they want to take over the school and play. And that's what I like to see. I mean, I feel like you need a class that's super connected. I mean, I feel like that's important in high school too, just to be able to win games and know that you guys want to work harder than the class above you, which is always a great competitiveness.
Obviously, you kind of touched on it there, but as we kind of round out this episode, wanted to get your thoughts on. Look, Georgia Tech is a place that Brent Key got this program back to a bowl game. You mentioned a couple pieces. Haynes King, one of the leading quarterbacks returning in college football statistically in 2024. When you look at this program as a kid in the Atlanta area, it feels like the vibe has changed, where Georgia Tech is not a place where, hey, you can come get playing time, you can come help build, but no, we can win. Was that kind of the message? And how do you think recruits are starting to view Georgia Tech, not just within their own city, but just kind of around the country?
I mean, there was recruits there who have offers from every Power 5 you can think of, and they visited Georgia Tech for a reason. I mean, they understand that they want to win, and the coaches – they preached. They were like, we're a program that we want to win now. We want to win a national championship. Like, that's the goal to rise. And I know Haynes King is a big part of that. We actually had a player panel, and he talked and gave us all some advice just about how being a student there and being a transfer and everything. So he's a really good guy. He's really down to earth. And I feel like, honestly, even this year, they're gonna win a lot of football games.
Yeah, a lot of stuff exciting happening on the flats. Well, Connor, we appreciate it, man. We'll let you get out of here with an easy one. Any message to Georgia Tech fans that are excited to see your commitment and excited to see this class take shape?
I'm excited to get to work. I definitely want to go to a few games this year, probably all of them, just to see the team play. But I'm happy that I'm close with some of the guys, and I'm excited to get to work for the team. So, sir,
that's awesome, Connor Roush. 3-star tight end per 24/7 Sports. Connor, we appreciate the time, man. We'll stay in touch. We look forward to watching you throughout your senior season, and obviously when you get on campus up there in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was a great conversation with one of the newest Yellow Jacket commits in the 2025 class. That pushes the class up to number 41 in the country is Connor Roush, the 3-star tight end from Wesleyan out there in Norcross. Hey, if you like this content and you want more, well, a couple things you got to do. Hit subscribe on down there at the bottom of this video. Set up notifications. We're going to be live. We've got great content coming each and every single day where myself, Ralph Leary, and Will Manis are going to be bringing college football content all summer long and, yes, well into the season as well. We appreciate you. We thank you for watching on this episode of Swarm Talk, brought to you by the Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.